Hey YouTube, it's New Life for Jen or Jen. I am currently in chapter 1 of Shrink Yourself. I am sitting outside in the sun reading chapter 1, and I'm just going to be documenting a couple of these things that strike my mind or open something in me that I feel I need to work on. And in the first chapter, it's talking about why diets fail, if you're an emotional eater or not, some of the things that this Dr. Roger Gould has came across in his practice. And I think one of the biggest things for me is I've come to this realization before with my Lapband, and for the last, you figure, 7 months, my Lapband has not been at restriction, and a lot of it I've been doing mentally. I mentally believe that my band is doing the work for me, even though I know really it's not. I've let my mind believe that I feel some kind of restriction after a cup of food, when really there is no restriction after a cup of food. So I believe your mind is a very, very, very powerful thing, and already this is talking about how much of your mindset can really determine your emotional eating. And I really have to say that I've been struggling with a lot of emotional eating the last couple months. And I'm very thankful to be at goal or under goal because of that, because I feel that I would have hit a major point of no weight loss if I was still losing at this stage in the game. Just because my mindset was so strong those first 10 months and I was so determined on not letting crap back in, that's how I got to this goal. So I was lucky in the fact that my mind was strong enough to follow the Lapband rules for a full 10 months and go gun-ho at it, because just after reading this first chapter, I see why, if those things were to have crept in, how I would have never made it to goal. Or it would have taken me 5 years, Lapband or not, to get to goal due to my emotional eating. So I'm just going to be putting pieces and bits together as I go through this book. I've heard some mixed reviews on it already, so I'm interested to see how I'm going to perceive the book. So we will see. I will keep you guys updated. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to go over the Chapter 1, Shrink Yourself session notes. There is 2, 4, 6 of them, and I am going to read down the list and let you know what I pulled from Chapter 1 and the questions that it's asking you to define. Number 1, you've defined yourself as an emotional eater. True. I knew this. This is why I bought the book. Number 2, you're beginning to look at the differences between phantom hunger and physical hunger. Okay, I've never heard it called phantom hunger before. I knew there was 2 kinds of hunger, whether it have been emotional or physical, so I'm guessing emotional hunger in this sense is being considered phantom hunger. They did describe in Chapter 1 that you have these 2 stomachs, more or less. Your regular stomach that induces physical hunger, and this phantom stomach, which is kind of like a second stomach in your mind that allows you to make bad choices and emotionally eat. So yeah, learning about those 2. Number 3, you're starting to see glimpses of how you began using food as a source of comfort or reward. I know that since I was a very young child, that food was reward. On the weekends, we would look forward to going for a car ride and going out for ice cream. My family used food as rewards. If you were good for the day or did what you were supposed to do, you got a snack. And I still am doing that with myself now. It is a very, very, very hard cycle to break. If I've done good Monday through Friday, the first thing I want to do on Friday night is go out to dinner because I was good all week. So I'm still trying to conquer the reward aspect of it. And of course, I've been using food as comfort for many, many, many years. Number 4, you know the secret to overeating is not your lack of willpower, but your experience of powerlessness. I'm not even going to comment on this one yet because I'm not 100% sure if I agree with that. So, number 5, you have to remember that in the gap between powerlessness and the uncontrollable urge to eat, you are making a decision that can be changed. I do believe this. I have done little tricks with myself. At the moment that I can feel emotional hunger coming on, it did describe in this chapter that, physical hunger takes time. It is not a sudden urge to want to eat. It described that emotional hunger, you are craving or wanting one certain kind of food. When it's an actual physical hunger issue, any kind of food will satisfy that hunger. But when it's an emotional hunger, you are craving salty, sugary, sweet, and it comes on quickly, where physical hunger takes a while. But I do believe in that moment of powerlessness and the uncontrollable urge to eat, you do have that window to try to make a different decision. Some of the things that I've tried to use the last couple of months are keeping myself extremely busy, not letting myself have a minute to spare, because any time that I have is time that my emotions will become involved and I get certain cravings for things. Stress, physical pain I have found in the last couple weeks with my back has caused me to want to eat. When I'm hurting, I want comfort from food. That is one of the main signs to me that I'm an emotional eater. Anytime it's something that hurts, whether it be physically to my body or mentally to my heart, I want food. So, but I do believe that I have curbed many bad choices by keeping myself busy, sidetracking myself by doing laundry or housework or going for a walk or exercise, anything to change that pattern. But mine usually happens in the evening time. Seems like it's between the hours of 7 and 11 p.m. That's when my emotional hunger is at its strongest, and it's when it takes the most power, you should say, to control it. And the last question, you'll have to rid yourself of denial in order to do the learning work that will free you from your food addiction. Trying to think how to respond to this. Do I believe I'm in denial? No. I totally believe I am 100% a food addict. I totally believe 100% I am an emotional eater. So I guess maybe the first step is buying this book and figuring out why you emotionally eat, but I don't believe I'm in denial. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be freed from this food addiction. And I think that's one of the scariest things for me and causes me to emotionally eat. The unknown to me is very, very scary. I live day to day and loving to know what I'm going to be doing a month from now, 8 weeks from now, a year from now. The unknown to me is a scary thing. I'm always scared of death and dying and disease and things that I absolutely have no control over. I mean, I can change my diet and I can quit smoking and I can do different things to try to prolong my health. But in all actuality, I really have no control over these certain things. So I don't know if I'll ever be free from my food addiction, but I'm hoping that maybe this book will help me figure out more deeply into the issue of why I do it and maybe give me some more ideas on how to fight it. I feel it's just going to be an emotional battle forever with me and food. Pink Fish Lily or Janine just made that video on being a food addict, and she said it so perfectly that I kind of feel the same way. Drugs, alcohol, I'm a smoker. Those things you have to physically go out and get. Those are things that your body can survive without. You know, your body doesn't have to have alcohol, it doesn't have to have cigarettes, it doesn't have to have drugs, but it has to have food. It has to have nutrition. It has to have a choice at least 3 times a day, maybe 2 if you don't eat breakfast, of how you're going to fuel it. So this kind of addiction is, to me, or for me, is one of the hardest things that I'm going to probably have to combat in my whole life. And I'm slowly wanting to learn more about this emotional eating due to the fact that if my kids are having these issues of emotional eating and they're doing some of it, maybe I can stop contributing to it, meaning using food as a reward for them, or just different things that I might be doing as a parent to bring upon things that could cause them to emotionally eat. So now that I've rambled on for 7 minutes and 45 seconds, this is my outtake on chapter 1. I think I'm going to do a little series on each chapter with these, and then I'll at least have them to look back maybe at the end of the book and be able to go back and be like, okay, well, this is where you were at in chapter 1. How has it changed to chapter 6? Because I think this book's going to get pretty in-depth with the mental work, which is what I need. So we will talk to you guys all soon. Talk to you later. Bye.